This Sunday's NASCAR race at Darlington Raceway could be one of, if not the most important NASCAR race since the 1979 Daytona 500. An opportunity to get away from the downward spiral that many have viewed NASCAR as in recent years and be able to capitalize on this opportunity to maybe find the way back to the top. Yo, what's up everyone, my name is Jet from NASCAR on MDK. Welcome back to the episode of Inside the Lines, Hear Me Out. I haven't done one of these in a while, and as you can see, the green screen is not up again, but there's a good reason why. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a major live stream, a live edition of Inside the Lines, followed by my race reactions, a whole new set, revamp everything, so make sure you guys check that out. But that's for tomorrow. Let's talk about here tonight. So, tomorrow is the Real Heroes 400 from the Darlington Raceway. This is going to be the first time NASCAR will be back in action since I believe mid to late March back at Phoenix Raceway. It's also going to be the first sporting event to take place since the pandemic has taken over not only America but the rest of the world. UFC was the first actual sporting event to do something since this pandemic, but they did it on pay-per-view. NASCAR will be going live on the Fox network tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe personally that this could be NASCAR's most important race since the 1979 Daytona 500. So far since this whole issue, we've had no sports. The only thing that if you want to count as sports in America is the NFL draft. And look how many viewers that brought in. I think nearly 50 million viewers, if I'm not mistaken, just for a freaking draft. Which, look, I get it's the NFL draft, but even 50 million is amazing for a sports draft. But now you're going to have a live event, a live sporting event taking place. And the coverage that NASCAR has gotten since they made that announcement a few weeks ago has been shocking. They've been all over SportsCenter, which... think about it. SportsCenter back then, NASCAR, those two do not go hand in hand. I mean, we'd be even lucky for NASCAR to be even mentioned on SportsCenter. Now you got Nicole Briscoe interviewing Denny Hamlin, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and Steve Phelps was just on a program earlier today, Saturday afternoon, promoting this race. And hell, you even have Spanish commentators from the West Coast, like Spanish radio stations, even talking about the race on Sunday. So clearly there is a lot of hype around this event. And I believe with this race could be the stepping point for NASCAR to get their way back to the top. Now, it's evident. We know NASCAR has been on a downward trend for more than a decade. At least last year, the ratings have equaled. They have not gone down. In fact, they stayed the same from 2018. But it's still there. That downward trend is still there. You still see ticket attendance still going down, except for some events like Daytona, Homestead, and other tracks like that. But in situations like this, when there's not a lot of certainty in what the future might be, NASCAR could offer a glimmer of hope to at least give some form of entertainment, to have something so that people can just for 2 hours or so get away from all this new stuff about what's going on around the world. And this brings me to a comparison that I've been thinking about for a while now. If you look back, think about this. In today's world, much of America is not really trapped in, but they basically are. They can't do anything. It's on a Sunday, which is a time of the day or a time of the week where a lot of people like to stay in. NASCAR is the only thing that's taken place that day. Fans, in fact, just sports fans in general, are eager just to see something instead of just watching news. This reminds me a lot of the 1979 Daytona 500. When you think back to that day, the whole East Coast snowed in. They couldn't do nothing except watch TV. The Daytona 500 was the only thing going on at that time. And guess what? It brought in, 15 million views, which was incredible for 1979 for a NASCAR race at that time. You saw a fight between Donnie Allison, Cale Yarborough, including his brother Bobby, or Donnie Allison's brother Bobby. And that exploded NASCAR and made it from a regional sport and turned it to now a national sport. I could see the same thing happening in this situation. Much of America is stuck inside. NASCAR is the only thing that's going to be on that day. Fans, sports fans, NASCAR fans, or even just people in general are eager just to see something to distract them from what's going around in the world. I believe that if NASCAR plays their cards right and everything goes smoothly, and I mean just a normal race, you know, like I'm not saying you don't need to see a wreck fest, just a normal race, we could see the aftermath of the 1979 Daytona 500 Part 2. Do I think NASCAR will then just jump back up to its hype days in the late 90s or 2000s? No. But I do believe we could see just that spark that NASCAR needs to get back to where they once were 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. And it makes sense. I mean, I already showed you a clip of Spanish radio stations from the West Coast, I might add you, hyping up a track in the East Coast in Darlington. They're hyping up this race, which very shocking. I see random people on Twitter that know nothing about NASCAR. They're totally interested in this. Not only that, NASCAR is already riding off some momentum from the eNASCAR iRacing Pro Invitational. Yes, Kyle Larson hindered NASCAR's progress, but I think the momentum is still there. And when you have momentum, you have a lot of people that are already tuning in for a freaking iRacing event. There are people that have never watched NASCAR before. Millions of people have never watched NASCAR before, have tuned into at least one of those Pro Invitational races. Now are they going to have the opportunity to watch an actual NASCAR race? And I think this also falls in line to where us as creators and us as a NASCAR community also have a role in to make sure we give the fans the best viewing experiences possible. And this I propose is this. On Sunday, regardless of what happens, I hope I don't see any backlash or any hate on NASCAR. You know, like I don't want to see, oh, this race is boring, this race sucks. You know, it's like at least they're racing. I'd rather have Kyle Busch lead every single lap at Darlington by 4 seconds out of, I don't know, Kevin Harvick, than no race at all. Just be happy that there's actual racing. And I think it's important for us as fans to give the non-fans or just the casual fans the best viewing experience possible so that they could watch future races and eventually become fans of the sport. It also lies on Fox Sports. Fox Sports, take as many little commercials as possible, try and get as much racing as you can, and also try and give an experience so that the casual fans can easily understand and become fans of it. Because if you have a broadcast that's confusing and makes no sense or just makes it boring, fans might tune out. And I know we're in a situation where that's the only thing that's on, but there is still a possibility that fans could tune out. So you want to make sure that you want to keep as many fans interested as long as possible. And think about it, NASCAR is going to be the only one that is going to be producing live races or live events for the time being. We don't know, other than the UFC, which is primarily pay-per-view events, we don't know any other sporting events are taking place. The MLB hasn't done anything. NHL hasn't done anything. NBA is on hiatus. NFL's not taking place till August. I mean, there's nothing going on but NASCAR for months. For this month, next month, and maybe the month after that. So NASCAR can capitalize on this opportunity. An opportunity that they have not had since the 1979 Daytona 500. Where there might be a NASCAR race on, but there's always something else that could be hindering a casual fan by going, maybe let me take a look. Let me check this out. Now you're going to have a bunch of fans that know nothing about the sport going to be tuning in just to check it out. And I highly encourage you, if you're a casual fan and you know nothing about NASCAR, I highly encourage you just to, it might look like just a bunch of drivers going around in circles, but there's a lot more to that once you get into it, once you get invested into the race and what's going on and the strategies that drivers and teams are doing. Personally, I think you guys, and I'm talking about the casual fans, will really enjoy the experience. Darlington's very fast. It's a driver's track. It's produced some really good racing. Last year's Southern 500, I think, was really good. In fact, a couple Southern 500s were really fun to watch. But this is arguably going to be one of the craziest and one of the most important races that NASCAR has ever had in its 70-year history. And I think what's going to make this race even better is the fact that it's all going to be taking place with all 40 drivers cold turkey. No practice, no qualifying, you're just racing. Just race. And you're going to be racing on one of the toughest tracks on the circuit and one of the toughest corners of the circuit in turn 1. These drivers have not been in a real race car in 2.5 months or so. Yes, they have simulated at their race shops, but they haven't been in the real race car with 39 other cars. So it is going to be a very fun race to watch. And hopefully a lot of people that are going to be tuning into this race, I hope you guys eventually become fans of the sport in the future, because there are a good amount of drivers that I feel like a lot of fans can root for. You want to look at young guns, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace. You want to root for a bad guy, you got Kyle Busch in your corner. You want to root for a good story, like a good feel-good story, you got Ryan Newman, or even Matt Kenseth, the returning driver to the series. You want to look at the veterans, how about Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin? How about Jimmy Johnson? You want to see a driver go out on top, you can root for him. There are a lot of drivers, and there's a lot of storylines. That's another good thing about this race on Sunday. There's a lot of storylines heading into this race. I just said it, with Kenseth coming back, Ryan Newman coming back, yeah, Jimmy Johnson's final start, you have Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman having really good seasons. That's not only going to make this race fun to watch, but it's also going to give people a reason to watch, I feel like. Because without no storylines, there's really no reason to watch. You got 4 or 5 different storylines, you got 4 or 5, 6, 7 drivers just to watch out for, that fans could be like, oh, I might take a look at him, or let's check him out, or I might be interested in this guy or that guy. So yeah, this, again, I'm going to reiterate this one last time. This could be and will be, I feel like, the most important race that NASCAR's had since the 1979 Daytona 500. It's NASCAR's time to shine. All of America is watching you, NASCAR, so hopefully you guys put on a good show. Again, guys, Sunday I will be producing a live Inside the Lines / race reactions. New set, new graphics, new everything. Hope you guys tune in for that. It's going to be one fun day, and I cannot wait for it. I honestly have not been this excited since Daytona. I mean, maybe even more excited than Daytona, if you can believe that. And I was at Daytona, and I'm more excited for this race at Darlington than I think I was at Daytona for the 500. That says a lot. So, yeah, ultimately, that's all I got to say. NASCAR, the ball's in your court. Hopefully, you guys put on a good show, and hopefully, the casual fans and people of America become new fans from that race. But that's all I got to say. Thank you guys for hearing me out, but I'd like to know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of what's going to happen on Sunday? If you are a fan, or if you're someone that knows nothing about NASCAR and you're now starting to get into it, tell me why. And if so, have you watched any races, or what do you think of the Pro Invitational Series if you watch any of those races? Love to hear you guys' thoughts on any of that. Jump in the comment section down below. But until next time, my name is J. Carlos from NASCAR on MDK. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.